The first time Logan suggested we rent a trailer and escape to the snowy mountains for a week. I thought he was joking, my son 18 years old, towering over him with the easy confidence of a young man who was just beginning to realize at full weight of his strength, stood in the kitchen, grinning like a boy again. Same grin he used to flash when he was trying to talk his way out. Afterable, come on mom, he said, tossing car keys from hand to hand, just you and me, snowy trails, a warm fire, peace and quiet. When was the last time we had thought? I hesitated because it had been so long since we truly slowed down, but as he looked at him, his messy brown hair, the spark in his blue eyes, the boy and Dummin colliding in one frame, I knew I couldn't say no after the chaos of the holiday season. The idea of disappearing Ginto, the woods with nothing but warm clothes, board games, and a few good books sounded like a gift. Logan planned everything he rented. The trailer mapped out the route and even cured a playlist for the drive as we drove deeper into the mountains. The trees, heavy with frost, blurred into a silvery dreamscape. The world outside the window seemed quieter, softer, as if we were leaving behind all the noise we hadn't even realized we were drowning in. When we pulled into the remote trailer park nestled in a snowy valley, I felt something inside Melusone, the tension I hadn't even known I was carrying melted away under the vast silent expanse of the mountains. The days unfolded in a rhythm so different from rushed pace of our lives. Mornings were for hiking through powdery trails, afternoons for sipping hot cocoa and playing games by the fire, and evenings for long talks under skies so dark and full of stars they almost didn't look real. It was during one of those quiet nights that Logan opened up in a way he hadn't since he was a little boy, sitting across from me, the firelight flickering across his face. He spoke of dreams he hadn't shared, fears he had hidden, and even confessions he had kept tucked away. I realized I wasn't just looking at my son anymore, I was seeing the man he was becoming. There was a quiet strength in the way he spoke, a steady confidence that made me ache with pride, and a sharp bittersweet nostalgia. I had been so busy serving, managing work bills, and the fallout of a messy divorce that I had missed how much he had grown. One evening after a particularly long hike west, stumbled back to the trailer with our cheeks flushed from the cold. I washed halfway through kicking off my boot twin. I lost my balance on a patch of ice and fell. Hard pain shot up my leg, sharp and blinding. Logan was at my side, his hands were steady but gently as he helped me sit up. Mom, are you okay? Does it hurt? His voice was thick with worry. My leg, I managed to say through clenched teeth. With a hesitation, Logan scooped me up like I weighed nothing, cradling me against his chest. Don't even think about walking on it, he said firmly, a teasing smile flickering at the edges of his mouth. Besides, I've been working out for amament, just like this, even through Thepane. I laughed, feeling safer in his arms than I had in a very long time. Back at the trailer, he settled me carefully in the small couch, elevating my leg with pillows and fetching an ice pack. Heck knelt beside me, his brows furrowed in concentration. You're grounded. Mom, no moving around tonight. Need anything, just say the word. That night I struggled with more than just the throbbing in my leg. A fever crept up on me, the chill into my bones. Despite the warmth off the trailer in the dim light, I called out his name, my voice barely above a whisper. Logan was at my side and said, Dansimum. What's wrong? His hand brushed my forehead, and the fear in his eyes. Wazro, you're burning up. Before I could protest, he climbed into bed beside me, wrapping his arms around me and pulling covers tight over both of us. His body heat radiated against me, grounding, steadying me. His hand moved gently up and down my back, calming the shiver racked my body. You need to get warm, he murmured against my hair. I'm not going anywhere. I let my head rest against his chest, listening to the slow, assuring thump of his heart. In the shelter of his arms, the pain faded into the background, replaced by a profound sense of safety. Hadn't felt in years. Next morning I woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of him humming softly at the tiny kitchen counter. Head turned around with a mug in hand, his smile lighting up the cramped space. Good morning, sleepyhead, he teased. Breakfast in bed for my favorite hiking partner. I laughed, wincing a little at movement, but my heart felt impossibly full. When had he become this man who cared so much, who thought sadly about others? Throughout the next few days, Logan never left my side. He cooked, cleaned, and helped me hobble around the trailer. He never made me feel like a burden. Instead, he seemed to relish the chance to care for me. The why had once cared for him, and then one night everything shifted. We were sitting together on the couch, the TV casting a soft glow around the room. My leg was propped up on pillows, and Logan's arm was casually slung across the back of the couch. The silence between us was comfortable, filled with a quiet, understanding. Mom, he said, his voice lower, almost hesitant. There's something I need to tell you. I turned to him, my heart suddenly hammering against my ribs. What is it? Sweetheart, he fidgeted with edge of the blanket, his gaze fixed on his hands. I've been thinking a lot about how different it feels. No. I held my breath. Different how I asked my voice, barely a whisper looked up then, and the vulnerability in his eyes nearly undid me. I care about too, he said slowly, deliberately. Morathon, just as my mom I respect you, I admire you, I love you. The words hung between us heavy and trembling with meaning. I couldn't speak, me throat tightened in tears. Pricked corners of my eyes. I had felt the shift to the way our bond had deepened, matured, become something raw and indelible. But hearing him say it out loud cracked something open inside me. He must have seen the turmoil on my face, 'cause he quickly held up a hand. You didn't have to say anything, he said, his voice breaking a little. I just needed to know. I reached for his hand, squeezing it tightly. You mean the world to me, Logan, I said, my voice thick with emotion. More than you'll ever know. His hand tightened around mine, and for a long moment we just sat there clinging to each other against the vast silence of the mountains outside. In that moment nothing else mattered, not the complications, not the questions, just the fierce abiding love we shared later that night. As he helped me settle into bed, he hesitated at the door. Would you let me to stay? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I nodded, without thinking. I'd like that. He smiled, smile shy but radiant, and crossed their room to join me under the heavy blanket. Took my hand again, his fingers twining with mine, and together we'd drifted into a sleep as peaceful and pure as the snowfall outside. The days that followed were quieter, but filled with a tenderness I couldn't have imagined. There was a new gravity between us, a deeper understanding written in every glance, every touch. It wasn't something we spoke about, it simply was a quiet, powerful current, pulling us closer with every passing day. One evening, sitting together on the couch, Logan leaned his head against mine and whispered, do you ever wonder what it would be like if it was just us, outside world, no expectations? I closed me eyes against the sudden sting of tears. That sounds peaceful, I said, meaning it with every fiber of my being. Shifted, turning to look at me, his expression open and unguarded. I don't think I've ever loved anyone the way I love you, he said. The honesty of his words wrapped around my heart like a mist blanket. I reached for him, pulling him into a tight hug, feeling the strength of his arms around me, the steady beat of his heart against mine. I love you too, I whispered. It wasn't just a declaration, and it was a promise that no matter what the world might say, no matter how complicated life might become, we would always have this an unbreakable bond, forged in the quiet snowy wilderness. When the rest of the world had faded away, we had found each other again, and this time we weren't letting go. Thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more. See you next time.